There are parts of the Bible that are directly related to manifestation. We are made in the image of a creator, therefore we are able to create. And I went on and built a successful business, and I made hundreds of thousands of dollars within 18 months. I had money sitting in the account, and I called for them to release it, and they said, "You are terminated." I was back to ground zero. I called my mom. "Hey, I just lost the business. I gotta move back in with you." My intuitiveness, my self-awareness said, "You are not meant to build this type of business model because you are not happy." Here's where things got a little interesting for me. Grab my phone. I said, "Hello?" This person says, "Honey, your dad is gone." I'm debilitated. I'm not doing the business. I, for a year and a half, did not even do anything. I was 18 years old, and I lived the life of Los Angeles. I'd go to LA with my friends, I'd party, had a fake ID. I got in debt, $50,000. And then I crashed and burned, because when you're living that lifestyle and you're $50,000 in debt, at some point you're gonna really jump off the ship and it's gonna be pretty bad for you. And I had like a come to Jesus moment. And I cried in the closet, got on my knees, and I was like, I need help. I need help. I have no direction. Now I'm almost 22 years old. I had filed bankruptcy because I couldn't pay off that debt. And I had no college degree, and I was completely lost. And I remember saying this in my mom and dad's closet. I said, "God, if you send me a mentor," this is the funny part, "I swear to God, I will see it, I will recognize it, and I'll accept it." And a month later, I met someone who became my mentor and taught me about business and about business financing. And I would then get involved in network marketing at that time. And I went on and built a successful business of 18,000 people on my team. And I made hundreds of thousands of dollars within 18 months. Except when you don't play by the rules of network marketing, because it is political, they have the ability to take away your income. I had money sitting in the account, and I called for them to release it, and they said, "You are terminated." And I said, "What?" And they're like, "You're terminated." Now, mind you, I was making money I never made. So I had the Rolex and the expensive car. So I didn't save any money. I didn't invest any either. And so I was back to ground zero. I called my mom. "Hey, I just lost the business. I got to move back in with you." So I had a business partner now who was in my business in network marketing. So we've been together for almost 20 years. And he would work for the state of California. And he would come over. He knows tech, coding, tech, everything. So he would come over my house from working for the state. He'd get up at 3:30, get to work by 5, 4:35, get off by 3, come straight to my house, and stay till midnight. And we were trying to figure out this game called the internet. I was just trying. I was trying to do whatever it took to get the attention of the internet. We were doing blogs. I was writing blog posts. I mean, I was at my lowest point at this point. And I'm like, how in the world can I make money? Because I am literally at square one, and it shouldn't be this hard to get back up. And it was. And I remember me and Markel sat down, and I said, "Okay, how do we do this? How do we build this?" He goes, "Well, you're a great communicator, so why don't we try to get you to sit in front of some big time people?" I remember him going, "Well, I think Trent Shelton, the guy that we listen to often to keep ourselves going, I think he's going to be speaking in Sacramento." And I was like, okay. So I reached out to his team, reached out to him. No one responded. And so I said, how can I take my set information my talents and get something for it just to pay my car note? And I reached out to the editor every day for months. And he finally responded. And I emailed him and I said, "I'm going to be somebody really big. So I want to do a weekly column, and you're going to pay me for it as much as you can. And I'm going to blow this paper up, because as I blow up, you're going to blow up." And he finally said yes. It was every single week.
For like 3 years.
It was for years. And it was called Life as We Know It.
Wow.
It was great. I was in the newspaper. My face was there. It was amazing. I made like front page sometimes. It was incredible. But I knew that was my leverage. And most people don't understand the power of leverage. It's like if I have a product that can be in one store, it can be in all stores. So if I can write for one paper without having a syndicated contract, I can write for other publications. So Trent Shelton's team never got back to me. And my business partner and I went to that event, and we sat in my car for 6 hours. And when he came out that back door, I jumped out of my car and I said, "Trent, I've been trying to reach you. Can I get an interview, please? I write for the local newspaper." And he said, "Yes, but you have to wait till the very end of my event." That was at almost midnight. So I literally sat for over 12 hours to get this one moment Most people won't do that. And the reason why this is so powerful is because you fast forward to today, we're still connected, we follow each other, and I've already recorded him on my podcast. He partnered with Matthew McConaughey and Tony Robbins. I'm only 1 degree away now from Tony Robbins and Matthew McConaughey being on my podcast when I'm ready for that. So if you understand full circle and vision, you will do what it takes in the moments that it takes it to make it happen. And I knew the 12 hours would pay off, maybe even 12 years later. I just knew that. And so I got the interview. It did insanely well on Facebook because he was a big deal.
Yeah.
He commented on it. It got a lot of views, and it increased my follow count by thousands of people. That was my first interview. The next day, Les Brown was coming to town to speak, and he was already here, I'm assuming. And I emailed him, and he said, meet me at 11. And I said to myself, one day I'll be speaking on stage with Les Brown. Little did I know that that one ad that led to that one moment with him, that led to him going, you are brilliant. You are a communicator, and communicators change the world. We're going to be connected for the rest of our life. Then would take me to Sac State to be speaking with him. Same day, same stage. And I remember telling someone that I was close to, my family member. And I remember saying, I've got these big goals. I got Trent Shelton. I got Les Brown. Like, I'm going to be on TV. Like, I'm going to be somebody. And that person said to me, why don't you just go back and get a job? And I remember in my head, I was angry. The anger was stewing. The resentment was stewing that somebody had shit on my big dreams. And I said, F this. And I opened up my cell phone and I said, do not let small minds shit on your big dreams. Welcome to Bar Talk and Coffee.
Oh, wow.
So I kept doing videos every week from my cell phone. Well, whatever the message was, welcome to Bar Talk and Coffee. Gave the message. Real quick, like Reels today. I started to go viral. One video got 1.9 million views. I started to go viral.
Wow.
It was a big deal. Mind you, remember, my business partner came over to my house every single day to try to crack the code on how to turn my brand at this point now into money. And we were sitting in there and I said, first of all, let's make apparel. If we can get fans to share my content, we can get fans to buy my merch. And it's moving really slow. And I'm like, okay, something else is missing here. Intuitively, I knew what was missing. I said, my story is important. My personal brand's important. Let's see if we can just get on TV real quick and sell the merch. Looked up the producers of different TV shows. Good Day Sacramento said yes. So I emailed the producer. Immediately said, absolutely, can you come on Sunday?
What did you say? I have merch to sell. And
I just said, I love your guys' show. I have this personal brand called Bar Talk and Coffee. I said, I have X amount of followers. I write for the local newspaper.
Leverage.
I leveraged what I already had. Small successes compound over time for big wins. Most people do not use their small wins to get the big wins. They ignore the small wins because it's not big enough. So she said yes. On that day, I sold out and made $3,000. What ended up happening was what I expected, which was people would wear my apparel. They would tag me in it. And then people who are my fans who I did not know, one of them wrote for Forbes. We don't know who's watching you. Even a mass of 100 people watching you, there could be one producer that picks you up. What happened magically was about the time that Facebook called me, the writer for Forbes called me. Now, I ended up getting featured in Forbes, Entrepreneur Magazine, NASDAQ, Yahoo Finance, Mogul, Fox 40, ABC, CBS.
Still at your parents'?
Still at mom's.
Okay.
Living in her master bedroom. Because sometimes, even though you have these big moments, the money's not yet there. But if you have enough faith, you know it's on its way. Because guess what that was? More leverage. And then something happened. As soon as I launched District Media Press, in the midst of all of these features coming out, clients came through like the floodgates of heaven. So now I had not a money problem. I had a team problem. I needed to go find some team members.
Help.
I needed help. I needed to find someone who could do videos, photography, all that stuff. Not knowing the right structure, I just got independent contractors. So year one, $500,000 a year with my consulting business, and I could not afford to leave my mother's master bedroom.
How's that?
You have almost 13 independent contractors.
Oh, I see.
And your video guy's $4,000 a month.
Okay.
Just that one person.
Okay.
and I'm the only salesperson. And I remember waking up one day, and I remember just going like, dude, I'm really unhappy. I realized that business model was not for me. And that is really important to understand. Self-awareness, doing a checkup from the neck up, which most folks do not do, is the most important aspect to life. My intuitiveness, my self-awareness said, you are not meant to build this type of business model because you are not happy. So you fast forward, COVID hits. Businesses are shut down. My clients are shut down. And call it alignments, call it a gift. COVID was not a gift, but call it for me an excuse. I was looking for any reason to just close the doors. And COVID gave me that excuse because when that moment happened, I had a sigh of relief. And I said, okay, I'd rather make $100,000 a year as a personal brand. That's it. Than to make $500,000 a year and keep nothing. I made $100,000 that year. So now we're on the second year. So now we're about 2022. Mm-hmm. I did $250,000, 220, 230. And from my personal brand, that was it. And now on a 7-figure income. I'm on cruise control. I'm in Forbes, Entrepreneur Magazine, Mogul. Now I'm on Fox 40 doing segments all the time. I'm like, whoa, like nothing can stop me. I live in like Lamb Park. Like, I feel like I made it, right? I'm like, wow. And then I get a phone call at 8:45 at night. And I said, who keeps calling me? And I grab my phone. I said, hello? And this person says, honey, your dad is gone. And I said, I just talked to him 3 hours ago. Where'd he go? She goes, honey, your dad is dead. And I said, well, I lost it. And he had cancer the day before he passed away. Found out he had stage 4 cancer. He was going to go to chemo in 2 weeks. And the doctor said that he had 18 months or less, exact words, without chemo. I didn't have 18 hours.
The day he finds out, and then the next day
he passes
gone.
away.
Holy crap.
But his Bible was open. And my dad was a serious man of God. And I remember he was in the backseat of my car. I had my glasses on. I had been crying after we were leaving the hospital. My mom was with me. So I was by myself in the, just going through the motions. And Mom, I got to go. And I remember saying, Dad, how do you feel? And he says, Boog, my nickname, Boog. He said, it's in God's hands. I just don't want to check out too soon. Those words will forever be a vessel for me to be the best I can be on a daily basis, because you don't know when you might check out too soon. Now, here's where things got a little interesting for me, because now I've lost my rock. Now I'm debilitated. I'm not doing the business. I'm not doing a personal brand. I'm not doing anything.
So this just floored you.
I, for a year and a half, did not even do anything because the anxiety, the PTSD, this was a death that I have never experienced. I mean, this was my dad. And so thankfully, because I had a personal brand that was built many years before this, my business partner held down the fort to make sure money was coming in. And I remember one day I woke up and I said, I think he said it to me. He said, Boog, you can't bring me back. I'm okay. You can't bring me back. So you cannot sit here and lay in the bed anymore and get down on yourself and be depressed about results that you don't have based upon work that you're not putting in. You're my daughter. Get up and make it happen. And on that Saturday morning, I sat up in the bed and I started to apply for speaking engagements. It seemed like it was nothing at that time. It didn't make any sense to me. It was just, do something. You've done nothing for a year and a half.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps. Just something.
Just something.
Yes.
And 3 weeks later, I got a phone call. And they said, hi, this is John. Yeah, you applied to speak as a keynote to the Small Business Expo in front of hundreds of business owners. We want to have you for San Francisco. And if you would like to accept this offer, we would have you in Los Angeles as well. I fall on my knees. And I cry like a baby. And I said, thank you, God. And thank you, Dad.
That's so beautiful. Have you ever experienced, totally sidebarring here,
yeah,
but
no.
What about burnout? Have you ever experienced that? And do you have any input on how to either see that coming or avoid it or handle it if it does come?
So on a daily basis, I create a pattern for myself that's aligned with not getting burnt out. Because I learned something very important, and I believe it was from Tony Robbins a long time ago. He says, people only really do the maximum effort 4 hours a day. It is your job to identify when you give max effort and what that time frame looks like. So I only do 4
Math
hours.
checks out.
Yes. So I only do 4 hours per day. Because what I do in 4 hours per day is more than what somebody does for 8 or 16 hours a day.
But you pick a window where you know you're most on?
That is correct.
And how did you find that?
After the gym.
Okay.
I tested it out in the morning, later at night.
Okay, so you experimented.
Yes, it's right in that window of like 2 p.m. till 6 p.m. And that's my time to be the best I can be. But I get a lot of stuff done. I get more done than people. How do you do it all? I just do it 4 hours a day. And sometimes it's not 4 hours a day. Sometimes it's 2. It all depends on like my wins. Most people don't do what they love in the middle of the daytime when they have a small win. If you reward yourself for what you do, you won't get burnt out when you do it. So if you are feel good, do good, I just did well, I'm grateful for this small win, I'm going to go reward myself and keep my high momentum up, my high energy up, then you will manifest something that you didn't even have to do.
Okay, so the manifestation thing, I kind of went through the cancer thing with my daughter, and it like talk about losing your faith thing. I didn't like say, oh, I don't believe in God anymore. It was just no more of you. It really shook my foundation, which was religion-based before, and now I've kind of rebuilt it in this spiritual sense. Like I'm talking to the same God, but I'm kind of seeing like a split field with this manifestation versus prayer stuff. Like the hardcore religious people are going to say it's prayer, and then you tithe, and then you go to church, and then new age people that don't want any part of that other side say, no, it's manifestation, and it's this, and we put our, rocks and stones around. I don't really care but how do you balance prayer versus manifesting?
My dad was religious and spiritual. He wasn't perfect. In fact, he talked about his shortcomings and how alcoholism played a factor in some of the negative parts of his life because he had trauma he never dealt with. But my dad was one of the most honest individuals that I've ever met. Never once lied. He owned all of his shit. He taught me faith more than religion.
Okay.
And so faith to me equals God. And when you have faith, you know that you're walking in alignment with a vision that you cannot yet see. So for me, I remove the word God in most cases when I'm talking about manifestation, because for me, it's pure alignment. And you can say it, well, if you're in line with God, you're in line with your life. That's fine. But what I'm saying is I do believe that our bodies, which are mostly made up of water, tend to have a higher frequency when you are in a positive vibrational state. So that is more science than it is religion. People who are religious don't like science. But if you go down to the basic facts of how we are physically made up, we are made in the image of a creator. Therefore, we are able to create.
Yes.
And if we are not putting ourselves in a vibrational awareness that we can create, which is vision, manifestation, getting the vibrations going, then it doesn't matter how much you believe in God. But what I do know is asking you shall receive. You receive not because you ask not. I know that if you ask God, and if you up your ask game, he has to up his delivery level. So there are parts of the Bible that many people bypass that are directly related to manifestation. For me, I really know, I know this to be true. And if it's not true, then I don't know what to think. But I know to be true that we have the ability to manifest everything that we want. And a part of that is us taking full control of the fact that we are creators and that we can manifest the way that God has created this earth. And if he did not want that, he would never have created us.
We were made in his image,
We were
right?
made in his image.
We had to have been given
that
some
is
sort.
Correct. And there is a science to it. No matter what anyone says, there absolutely is. Studies have shown it. If you meditate, if you focus on something for 16 seconds and change your thought, your visual, you send momentum out to the universe. Now, I tend to go, okay, I manifested this through doing the scientific stuff. God, thank you.
Wow, that's a brain blower. Okay.
Yeah.
Gratitude with God.
Because Queen Oprah says, if you are grateful for what you currently have, the Lord gives you more things to be grateful for.
Okay. So you're working with science and energy and actions, and then your faith and your gratitude is just a knowing with God.
That's
basically. You don't have to earn that.
No.
That's nothing that.
That's
Mic drop. What's your story? We all have a story that makes us who we are, or multiple stories. Come share yours. Hit me up. Vibe with Humanity on Instagram. DM me. Thanks, guys. Enjoy these two right here.